Hello and welcome to Business in Lahles. Last week I actually misspoke. I thought it was session 11. Last week was actually session 12, which puts us at session 13 for this week. So, with that, I do apologize for that, but I noticed it after going through some of the VODs and I was like, oh shit, we did session 11 twice basically. um, anyways, going around, we will be missing Trace tonight. Due to work and other live things, so he won't be here tonight, so it'll just be the five of us. But how was each of your weeks? How about Onyx? You go first.
Mine was amazing. I acquired a new foster baby doggo. Her name's Lila. She's the best dog I've ever met.
Aww.
Is it a foster or are you keeping it?
Foster.
Yes.
Both.
First one.
TBD.
Then, well, we're
Foster
probably,
failure is what you call it.
Yeah, we're gonna be keeping her for a year. I feel. I mean, but the way I would phrase this, that the future is always uncertain. If hopefully we'll be able to give her back to her true mama, but if not, then honestly,
She's
I think I'd be down to keep her. So
we have
we'll see.
more than all the love to give them. She's
Well,
Christian, I don't know if you're aware that was Stephanie. Yeah.
Yeah, I happened to. I saw that Facebook thread.
Yeah.
She's just the sweetest little.
would you say that yours kind of sums up with that, Kadir?
Yeah, except I can't play Cyberpunk because Cyberpunk fucking up. I'm not supposed to say curse words, am I? Crap.
You're fine.
Did you get a PS5?
No, I have a
No.
computer.
Oh, okay.
Oh, did the dong slider break?
What?
I haven't attempted the dong slider yet, but believe me, I'll get there.
I am lost for what you're talking about. What is
You
the
can
dong
adjust
slider?
your penis size.
Okay, in Cyberpunk, there is a dong slider where you can make the dong bigger or smaller or none.
Oh,
It's true.
In the
neat.
character
Okay.
customization. It is amazing. You can
So-
also have very large tits and a big dong at the same time. Treat yourself 2020.
Game of the year.
So do you just match
This-
both always?
This is the
or-
most 2020 game ever. It really is.
I'm assuming you play at maximum girth.
Isn't it
On both.
2070?
2077 to be explicit, but yes.
Crap.
But it's
How
still a
is-
pretty good game.
So
That's nice. I'm still hung up on the dog.
I wanted to
meter.
add one thing. I bet you are.
Like, who puts that in the game?
Is that what they call it?
I don't know. I haven't been there yet. I'm
And
getting there.
you also have points for coolness, which is interesting.
It's called street cred, isn't it?
Well, there's actually 3 different story arcs you can go into. Street Kids, Porco,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and then
Got
the
it.
other one, it's like a farmer girl type thing or farmer guy type thing.
It's like-
It's kind of weird. It's like
Yes,
the Farmer
that
Dale
makes complete
version.
sense. Murder hobo, street kids, farmer,
Farming simulator.
and so on and so forth. We're gonna get real far tonight.
Yeah, we'll get real far.
Yeah.
Maybe out of the mine. Krev.
Before we...
I don't even know after that. I can't compete with that. Like,
Let's follow up.
like,
No one can compete with dong sliders.
yeah, no. Yeah, average week, but holy crap, that was hilarious. Dong slatter. Yeah, I'll pass. I'm not gonna top that.
Wreck-It, how's the baby?
Oh, he gets cuter every day.
Let's
I
make
can't
it,
handle
turn it back to a little
Ugh.
innocent mode here. Put on our halos.
He's very cute. And wrapping up my parental leave, I returned to work on Tuesday.
Gross.
Yeah, 6 weeks off.
That went by fast.
You poor soul.
It did, didn't it? And that's what I'm gonna say to every coworker. Like, how was your 6 weeks off? Oh, it's not long enough.
Just like the dong slider.
And I'll just answer for Trace. Trace, how was your week? Good. All right, all right. That's about normal what we get out of that. So, Let's go ahead and do the recap. A lot of it was combat. So with that in mind, there's not too much to include, but you all did gain some information along before you made it here.
Oh, are we still doing the thing where we walk through?
Yep, from your side, and then earn extra points.
All right. So the group being in Mito, had decided to take on the quest of clearing out the mine in the Niacinma Mountains. And so, well, prior to heading over to the mine to clear it out of the supposed gnolls that were inside, had gone down to the Wheat Civet Guild to do a little bit of to attempt a little bit of research first. Didn't really go anywhere. So we hitched our asses on up to the mines, and pretty much it was exceedingly non-complicated. There was a mine, you go inside, and then there were some gnolls, and we shot them. Oh,
Also
and
big
then an
bug.
Umber Hulk, and then I'm guessing an Umber Hulk showed up, and really everything kind of went tits up after that. But we lived.
I
And now
could
it's
have
evil
been
thing.
worse.
Yeah. Oh, and then Trace was shooting arrows from like who knows where, you know.
Yeah, he's invisible as shit.
Yeah. Oh, and I was a big spider.
I bullied some gnolls.
I exploded. Things. I didn't explode. I
There was
other
a chance
things
I could have
explode.
beaten up my teammates.
I
That
would have
is
been
true.
excited if you did. I was really, really hoping. It would have given me a reason to knock you out and put a dick tattoo on you.
Oh no.
Is that it?
And Erica stabbed. Yeah,
Onyx did stab.
she did stab good.
I always.
Oh, we pissed the hell off of Jeeves. He was not happy in the beginning. We set him up at the hotel
Yeah, poor Bap.
for a few days.
Yep. I wouldn't be surprised if we got back and he just like took the cart and went back, like just straight up abandoned us
Maybe.
after the gnome welcoming
Leaves a
party we
note.
gave him.
Fuck you guys.
I tried to apologize to him by getting him a legit room,
Yeah.
but
then-
Yep, and
we'll
you
see
had
if that.
food and things brought to him, and even paid to make sure that the gnomes didn't bother him until you all got back.
I thought you were gonna say gnolls, and I'm like, oh my gosh, if gnolls were bothering him, that would suck.
And we had
I
briefly gone
almost
to the
did,
guild.
but kind of like almost stumbling over my words, but I caught it.
Yeah, we had also went briefly to the guild to check and see if we could speak with Samira, and then we just spoke with Mara on Earth and told them what we were doing basically, and they just said like it would probably improve your standing if you went and took care of the mines.
That's
Yeah.
a pretty good point to bring up. I think that pretty much covers everything. So as we jump back into the game, it is the night of April 13th. Bum, bum, bum. Matching our session number. After you all have taken down the gnolls and this large ant-like creature being uncertain of what it fully is, I do believe the first thing that we were going to get into is Krev. You wanted to check out this creature that each of you had slain to attempt to acquire some more information about it, correct?
Yes, I was, and I'm trying to. I don't remember how I was going to do that offhand.
Well,
I don't
we're
know if
gonna
that
make
was
nature
like a.
check.
Okay. I will guidance it then.
That's what you asked for, anyways.
Yeah, that or I mean, survival would be preferred, but nature makes more sense.
Ooh, nice
Ooh.
roll.
Nice. I thought that was going to be the 5, not the 18. 24.
So, while you've never read or encountered a creature like this in your past, you would know that it's definitely a creature of this world, like the material plane, just rare. Usually, um, just seen spottedly through the years. Not very many people encounter these things.
Do I know what it is?
Yeah, you'll know, like from just like rumors, I'll say, through tales, that it is indeed an Umber Hulk.
I'm assuming that is not a beast, right? I'm assuming it's a monstrosity or something.
I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure it's a monstrosity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way, its CR level's probably too high for me to like. I'm sure from now, but even later, probably too high.
I'm not sure actually. I've never actually.
I think general rule of thumb: if it's not something in real life, then it's not a beast. But
It's actually pretty
Fair.
good. Nice little rule.
that's if it's something that's like made up, then it's probably a monstrosity.
So
Hello. I think they're all dead. I can't do a good Trace voice.
I was like, who the fuck?
Should probably do a perimeter check. You know, and just look around, see if there's anything left behind. Try to find the bodies of the guild members that were sent here before that never returned.
well,
That was one of the things we were told to do.
if I could, if you could, perchance, I am no good. I am not good in the dark. I would like to stay here with this Hulk. I believe we may be able to use pieces of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I am somewhat proficient in the use of animal parts, leather and otherwise, to create and to craft. I would like to harvest this creature, and I will use. I could probably just use use my hands. Primal savagery gives me sharp acidic nails, and I could like rip in at like the weak points, the joints, and try to use that to kind of like cut the sinew. I am proficient leather crafts, which I don't know what I don't know what chitin crafting or harvesting would. I'm assuming it's chitin, but I don't know what that would count as. But leather crafting generally has to do with animal parts, so I'm thinking that's probably the best one, honestly. But I would like to harvest
agree.
his plates, his chitinous plates.
I think that is a great idea. And I fully agree. I do believe it should fall under leatherworking. It doesn't make sense for it to be tailoring, and it definitely doesn't make sense for it to be blacksmithing. I think as like a more broader thing, then yeah, for sure. So that, with looking for some of the weak points to get the chitin off, can you give me an investigation check?
All right. Yeah, I'll do that with. Let's see here. I'll do that with guidance as well.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I was no longer spider form for that as well. But I probably will have to go back into spider form later for dark vision.
Did I oof? I did not oof. 20.
That's a nice roll. If I'm not mistaken, the light that you had cast on Reckitt's quarterstaff has been like kind of swapped out for like hex or something during the battle.
Nope, it's still on because it's non-concentration.
Light's not? Thought it was.
Sure. I believe it's not. Dancing lights is concentration, but light, to my knowledge, is not.
Maybe I'm thinking of dancing lights in. But I was just gonna say, anticipating that there was no light, like you're able to find it, but only like certain points, just like the larger ones, with not there being sufficient light. But with there still being sufficient light, you're good. You're able to find the points that you're looking for, like the weak points, to dig in your claws underneath. Nice. I don't know why I thought it was strange. But anyways,
It would make sense, but yeah.
Yeah, light is a lot better than dancing lights, to be honest. For the most part.
Yeah,
at
that's
least.
true.
Unless you're playing Baldur's Gate.
Unless you're playing Baldur's Gate.
And then from that point, go ahead and give me a survival check.
Okay. Is this an advantage for, well...
I can help if you're looking to do that. If
Yeah.
you want.
Yes,
If
I
you're
would
getting
very
assistance,
much
then
appreciate
that'll be
it.
at advantage.
Yes, I have survival.
And my D4... 15. So that's pretty good.
So it's going to take you a bit to get this all taken off. When you dig in your claws at first, the acid kind of like just damages the edges in a little bit of a way, but once you get in underneath enough and you're able to like pry it up, most of this chitin just kind of comes off almost like plates, just popping it off one by one, finding little bits of weaker points to get in underneath the arm. Like when you attach it from the top, then you're able to like move down and then to another plate and another plate, as they seem to be layered in like a plate armor style way.
Would you be able to tell me how much poundage in plates that is?
Yes, I would be actually. It will be 75 pounds in plates.
All right.
Like I said, it'll take you a little bit to collect all that. So while you're doing that, can the rest of you make me a perception check? Well, actually, Krev, you're assisting him, so just from Rekid,
Okay.
Onyx, and then I'll make one for Trace.
Sorry, forgot to turn on my extension.
Ooh, I rolled a natural 20 for Trace. It's gonna be a good night. I'm finding all my own stuff. So, as Trace begins looking around, with it being dark, after it kind of goes out of the range from the quarterstaff with the light, he'll say, "Shiny? Something there?" And he'll point over towards the north, and then towards the northwestern, and also the northeastern direction.
I think I'll go to look at the first place he pointed to with my quarterstaff with the light cantrip on it.
So you see, well, you actually don't see Trace because he's in the shadows. It's like he kind of goes out of like into the dim light. He seemingly disappears, and you just hear a voice, "Follow."
Go on without me. We will be here harvesting the plate remains of this large beetle.
Okay.
And as you all get to right here, he'll point down, and you can see this stone circle in ash in the center. You can see little bits of wood that are not fully burnt, but have definitely been charred, and you can easily put together that this is a large fire pit.
Is there currently any kind of kindling or fuel, or is it just a bunch of ash?
Mainly ash, but like I said, there's like little bits. You could probably get a small fire going.
I would like to do that.
Okay, give me
Give us some light.
a survival check, and I believe Trace has the skill as well. Double check. Yep, so you can make it at advantage.
Would make sense.
Okay.
And you're able to get
Nice.
a little bit more of a fire than you anticipated. You put the wood together in like a TP fashion and get it lit.
Sweet. That'll hopefully help my comrades with what they're doing.
So
as they leave, oh wait, I'm sorry. Did you leave your staff with us?
No, I took it with me.
Okay. Yeah. As I'll set up a torch to, and stamp that in the ground or something.
yeah, with the fire that he gave you, you'd be in dim light, so it would help a bit, but it's definitely nothing like the quarterstaff that was there before. So putting the torch down will definitely keep it illuminated enough for you to keep skinning away. Guess that would be the right terminology. And
Shucking. I don't know.
here, Rekid, you can see a pile of gems. He says, "This." Sees
Oh man.
some green, some blue, and some black. Kind of piled up. There's about 10, 15 of each here. And then he points over to the cart just north of you and says, "More?"
Oh yes, my friend. Are these the amount of gems that we would have to use a cart for, or could we carry them on our persons?
These ones on the ground, I mean, you could easily shove in your pockets.
Okay. Yeah. Let's do that.
But as you all move around, he'll point them out, and then he'll also point out other little fire pits that are scattered about through the mine.
Any different from the one we lit?
Some of them having a bit more, and some having a bit less fuel for fire. Some just completely empty, but there's enough to get at least small, unless you have more luck in your fire building skills. But at least 1, 2, 3, 4 that are pointed out in total, along with more gems. You can see skeletons where flesh has been ripped off of them, where you can see bite marks into what is now rotting flesh of what you assume to be miners, pickaxes, shovels, all sorts of things scattered about.
Okay. I think I'll just be making my rounds, picking up these gems and checking to see if any of these bodies are the guild members we suspected were down here.
Okay. So what I will do is, as you're doing that, just move your token to like each of the locations that you're picking up, and then I'll kind of like mark it off, and just so I know what you all pick up. But Trace will be with you, just helping. Krev, as you're still in your spider form, or have you swapped?
I would have had to use guidance, I
Okay.
realized, but yeah.
That's true. Spider.
Yeah, so I assume I drop, but
Oh, no!
if I need to, I can go back into it. I've got one more shapeshift, so.
Okay.
Oh,
Man,
oh Lord, he going.
give me a perception check.
What? Oh God. Here we go. Perception.
Oh no, that's for Kadir. I'm sorry. He just ran around
Oh,
the entire
shit.
map on me. Krev, you can see that there.
Oh, you mean
Yeah, or for you, Rekid. I'm sorry, I said Kadir. But for Krev, you can
All good.
see Rekid, Trace making their way about, collecting something, and just going through the mine. And Rekid, from your location at the moment, you can see a tunnel that leads off to the northeast. About 5 foot tall and 8 foot wide. Roughly the size of the Umber Hulk that you had slain with your friends.
so that's interesting. It's not extremely tall, but fairly wide.
I believe the term for that is thick.
Squat.
And of course, as you make your way around, you would have spotted a total of 8 more dead gnolls. No signs of the guild members.
Okay. I'll return with the gems to my comrades. So, one, let them know about the gems, and two, couldn't find anyone. But perhaps what we seek is down that tunnel.
So in total, like you said, going around collecting all the gems, you would have seen a couple of what you would assume to be rich in material ore that is prime for taking as well.
Oh.
A nice total of, I think, 15, if my memory serves me correctly. Dead miners, the 8 gnolls, and that is it.
What was the I'm sorry, as as Rekid comes back, I'll speak as he mentions the gems. Well, that is certainly quite the haul.
Right? Just like jangling around.
Every day I spend with this troop, I become more impressed. That such amicable, trustworthy strangers have come together. A lesser man would have swiped those, you know.
I think I've proven I'm quite bad at deception.
Nonsense. You are a wonderful wizard and no one can stop you.
Thanks, Kadir. I needed that today. I am a great wizard.
As I'm working, I'll kind of casually mention everyone else. Have you all thought of a name for this little troop? No. My name personally, well, I was somewhat into bird watching in my youth, so my mind flocks to the Bloodhawk. I would love to call us the band of the Bloodhawk. But honestly, no significance. I just like the hawk.
I like it.
Plus, we could make some kind of badass battle standard. Really let our enemies know we're coming. Maybe. Reckon?
I was going to say, that kind of reminds me, didn't a lot of us get just splattered with all sorts of viscera after that one shatter?
Yeah.
We're probably pretty grimy right now. That's okay.
Well, I mean, your clothes are the right color.
Branding.
But well, I do not wish to simply be known as members of the corn snake rats guild or the corn silk rats guild. How you say branding? Just a thought.
I like it personally. Just saying.
Yeah.
My vote
Thank
doesn't
you.
matter, but just so you know, I like it.
But what can I say? I dream of our enemies hearing of us beforehand, knowing of how hopeless their ventures will absolutely be. Heck, we could even get matching rings or something.
Twinsies.
So, Rekid, I would just like to point out, like, with the amount of gems that you would have collected, you would need to have pushed the carts over and things as well. This is well more than enough to fill your pockets and your bag.
Okay, that's fine. Strong boy. I can pull that cart.
Oh,
I didn't
what's
think you had an issue with it. I just wanted you to know how much you got.
how many
Nice.
how many coins, or how many, not coins, how many gems am I adding to the inventory?
For the moment, you can add a shitload, and then I'll give you a more precise number when you're able to go through it all.
All right, shitload O apostrophe gems.
69
And
gems.
nice. Also, I had another question. I threw it down in chat. We had 339 gold, 5 silver, 5 copper, but I can't remember that we ever really broke that out to everyone in the party. Did everyone else get a piece of that already, or
No
is that
one said
something that's...
anything. I told you it was in there, and then no one said anything about it. So as far as I know, no one should have added any.
Got it. I didn't add anything, so I'll calculate it all out. There's quite a bit of gold sitting in our pantry at the moment.
Yeah, and to be honest, I really don't feel like going back through the logs for games or like 4 sessions to see if anyone added it. So I think it's like what, roughly like 60 gold per person or some shit like that.
That's about how much it would be. Yeah.
So not that much to worry about either way. But you would have 2 carts, or 2 small carts, pretty topped off with gems. You would assume near a couple hundred, just between like what you find on the carts and then even more that you've kind of put in your pockets and your bag.
So, if we come out of here, the how you say, what is it? The mine overlord, the mine overseer. He is going to lay claim to this. I do have another idea.
Oh.
I could take these gems into the dream and to, well, what can I say? There is a space that is inside of my lamp. I could bring them there. Or if not all of them, then at least some.
Now, was this the gentleman that we met outside the mine?
Yes.
So definitely alive then.
But also alone. I am
Detective Frection.
Merely a suggestion.
It could be the kind of thing where he's, oh, thanks, you saved my mind. Take all of the gems. Anyway.
Yes,
I don't know.
I'm sure that happens quite often. Yes, please, take everything I have. All my money. Please. You deserve it. Hear it all the time. Especially if you watch the news. Read the news. I don't watch news. It does not work like that.
Unless you count scrying, I guess.
Ah, yes, the scry news.
Live action
no.
reporting.
Yeah, and obviously the reporter is a 400-year-old hag named Whitney. I don't know why Whitney.
It
Well, I
fits.
suppose we could always play it safe and just give it all over to him, or we could be just a little sneaky. I mean, who would notice a couple of gems gone missing?
Yes, a couple hundred. Well, how you said that there's a shitload. You said a couple of carts.
Yep, if you would like to take a look around on the map, you can kind of see everything that's there. No,
All right.
you can explore. About like the time that he gets back with all the gems, it would have been about 45 minutes of all that collecting. So you'd be pretty close to done, and then after that little bit of conversation, we'll say that you've completed removing the chitin plates from this, what Krev identified as an Umber Hulk.
So, is there a? So I never really explored this before with you, but my level 1 power kind of gives me like what is it? A 20-foot radius space inside of my lamp.
Mm-hmm.
No, I presume I can only put items in there up to the weight limit of what I can hold. Is that a fair assumption?
From what I read, there was no like weight limit. So the way that's why like when we were slightly like had touched on the subject, I was like, wow, this is kind of like from what I was reading, like a bag of holding. In a way, obviously, right, with the access limits.
Yeah.
But it just, to me, it sounded like you just fill it up, and like you go there yourself, put the stuff in there, and then like you dip out. So I would imagine it just being like a legitimate portable room. That's how I kind of saw it when I was reading it in my mind. So personally, I would say probably no weight limit, but if you wanted to like fill it up or, you know, decorate it or something, so like if you collect books, you put them on like your bookshelves, things like that. But for right now, it's just like an empty thing.
Okay. So I will. So yeah, help me load, let's say, a third of these gems into the carts.
Okay.
Into bags rather. So I would like to, once we load them into load a third of them into bags, I would like to enter the dream and drop the. I mean, I wouldn't say that it's necessary. It's necessary to describe it because I mean I already know what it looks like. But if you want to, you can. I guess for viewer, if
Yeah,
there is one.
preferably. we get lots of stuff offline, way less like live, but we average about 20 views, which is nice.
Oh, okay. So entering what I call the dream, what you all probably see is I grab the bags and I will say something like, "Well, I will be right back." And then kind of just you'll probably hear like a dimension doory type sound, like a whoomp, as I disappear out of thin air, maybe similar to Misty Step. The space that I reappear in is it's dark, a cave. You can faintly hear a squelching wetness, almost like you're in a cave, but that's perhaps covered with kelp or moss. But the ground won't be green like kelp or moss. It will be red, flesh-colored, bleeding, and well, it's a place that my character recognizes very well. It is Voidheart that has been referenced before. All I would somewhere at the edge of sight, you would see a dead body that that lies motionless, and in the distance you can hear growling, chittering. But this is just a normal day. I dropped the bags just right there on the squelching floor, and then boom, right back out. You all would see me return without the bags. Well, it is safe now. At the very least, we will be able to pocket a third of these gems. We can negotiate for the rest if you wish. I merely wish to guarantee that we are paid.
Sounds fair to me. Just make it so I'm not doing any of the talking.
I mean, why don't we just come back for the rest later if that's...
Well, because the man outside may insist that these gems do not belong to us.
Yeah.
And this way we get paid and keep our reputation, for whatever that's worth.
And to be perfectly honest, well, enough men have died here. I do not wish to continue the killing.
Food?
I mean, this Umber Hulk is, well, he looks pretty juicy if you want to cut off a slice. Campfire over there, my friend. Actually, I've been looking to, I suppose I could try to whip us all up a meal if you are interested.
Raw.
Of course, raw. Why did I not see that coming?
So just making sure everyone gave up their backpacks to fill it up the rest of the way with gems, and then let Kadir put it into the dream.
Yeah, so that required all of our backpacks for a third of the gems?
That's what I heard, 5 bags.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, I guess that means we're like, what, are we just carrying our stuff inside, like strapping it to our belts, or what? How are we doing that?
Let me see. I mean, we do have carts at this point. Plus, we probably have more bags back in our own personal cart.
Well, we also
your
took
wagon
the
outside.
wagon, didn't we?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So I mean,
how much can we put in that?
Well, I mean, it
Right,
does
we can
give
put
you enough
20.
room so that like Trace can wood carve and Kadir can study without issue. When someone's like kind of like writing up front, especially when Rekid is writing Brago, and if you're writing up front or Onyx is writing up front, and there's definitely enough room, so you'd be able to get back, you know, all of the chitin if that's what you're curious about.
Plus, we do have barrels full of water in the carts. If you are worried about the gems, well, we could just toss them in the barrels, empty out the water. We can always fill up the water again back in Meadow.
This is true.
Just a thought. So, have we fully perused these caverns? I'll take as I'm cutting off like a 10-pound slice of the Umber Hulk for all of us to eat. I'll break out my my cooking utensils and my seasoning. I'm guessing the cooking utensils were purchased all the way over in, what is the name of that city? Lahles. So it's probably spicing more akin to that area. And I'll try to cook the Umber Hulk for us. on that campfire.
Out of curiosity, wouldn't you have those kind of materials in your backpack?
What kind of materials?
The spices.
The cooking utensils?
Yes, the cooking.
I mean, I guess
utensils and spices.
I guess I didn't explicitly say that I emptied it out. So if you want to say that it's in there, that's fine.
Yeah, and like
There are
that's
certain
kind of
things
why I
that I
was
wouldn't
asking,
actually-
like, because like I was like, so everyone's just giving their backpack, and then you're filling it up the rest of the way with gems. And also
that's
curious
fair.
of the food situation, and then you had thought of the Umber Hulk, which was a good idea.
I do have a couple. I do have some knives. Some knives on my belt. I'll use
Hey, you got your-
prestidigitation to clean off a stone and use like cut off the meat and put it on like a heating stone over the fire.
Going back to the roots. So go ahead and make me I guess just use your like cooking proficiency, like the cooking tools anyways, just because it's already kind of all set up, just to make it easier.
Actually, I'm not. I don't have the cooking proficiency. So what
I thought
stat would that be?
So just do the D20 plus, let's say your intelligence modifier, since you're kind of like in that learning process.
Okay.
Nice roll. You've been picking up things well from Jeeves, and even though you don't have the best tools, you're able to make it work. Noticing you don't have enough of a fire to get the stone heated up, everyone helps collecting the wood, building up the center fire pit, and you make a pretty decent meal. Without really much thought, it is a bit rough, kind of like a chewy, muscly taste, like texture, but doesn't taste bad.
Well, perhaps not the best, but the victory is sweeter.
Mhm.
To the band of the Bloodhawk.
Here, here.
And I'll I'll break in.
All right, so are you all going to now, after enjoying your meal, are you going to just stay in the mine for the night, or are you going to go back to like the little stronghold area where you had first met Yorni?
Well, let us. Have we checked out this mine to our full satisfaction, my friends, or is there more?
There is a tunnel that goes to the northwest, I believe.
Is there?
Yes.
Well, I suppose we could always go deeper, but I don't believe I was the one who suggested that. Krev, you've been quiet.
Yes, I mean, if you guys want to explore, I'm plenty good to explore more.
I did take a good licking from the Umber Hulk, and I've also used up my chi for the day.
We could always come back here, although that's kind of a journey. How injured are you? Or are you just more out of chi?
Well, if my health were on a scale of 0 to 33, then
Negative
I'm at about
7.
a 12.
I see.
But I am also entirely spent with my chi.
To be fair, I am somewhat similar. I have expended most of my magical energies. I do have my backup plans, but not much else. I must
Yes.
admit. This was the first time I had gone all out on the creature.
Ironically, I was in my animal form, so I didn't expend any spells. Kind of weird. I feel quite fresh still, but if you guys are used up, we can go back.
Just need a
Well,
good night's rest. Could be here, could be outside of the cave.
Yes, if you guys want, we could rest, outside the cave and come back in the morning.
well, I do not. I believe we should. I believe we should go back to Mido. I would. Well, I would not risk our current victory here by resting.
Yes.
So, we shall eat, bring out the gems, and we will discuss with Yorni.
Sounds like a plan.
I agree. Lahles, danger, time.
That is fair as well. We do have a job. So, going back to the cart. Just so you know, if this does not buy us into Samara's good favor, I believe we may have to look into exercising leverage. We need her help. And yeah, so I'm imagining that we're carrying the Umber Hulk plates probably by putting it's probably not good to put them all on the ground. That'll wear them out. So yeah, we probably throw those on the cart too. One of us pushing each cart, one of us pulling, and until we get back up to the top.
All right. So with the combined amount of weight, but comparatively to each of your strengths in a combined manner, you're able to get the rest of the gems out and the plates as well. It's actually quite easier once you get the cart placed along the tracks and begin pushing it. You find that it rolls much easier, less resistance from the surface below. And once you make your way out, you'll see a little bit of a dim light from the entrance of the mine, and what you can begin to see a half moon up in the sky, and Yorni is about 40 feet away from the entrance, just kind of mumbling to himself and twirling his fingers. I think that I don't see anything. I don't know what to do. Like, what the fuck?
Hell, Yorni. I prior to saying that, I cast guidance on myself.
Oh, bloody hell! You're alive? When it's quiet, I thought you all were dead.
Well, what can I say? We have succeeded. The horrifying creatures contained within have been destroyed, banished from our plane, so to say.
Wait, just to double check, did we grab the lost guild members, the bodies?
And then
We can go back in. I don't believe we found them.
We were tasked to do that.
Well,
yeah, we suspect they might be down that tunnel, but
Well, even within that cave, we found other bodies. Yes, I don't know if
You didn't find anybody alive?
no.
They're all dead?
just Knowles.
How
so
many
far,
how many dead bodies did we find?
some.
More than 10. Mostly
Uh,
miners, or well, all miners.
How many miners had you lost, Yormi?
15, maybe, and unless there's anyone hidden alive. But from the sounds of it, it seems that they're all dead. Would it make 22 in total?
How recent were the dead bodies? Like how would you care to describe them for us, Trace? Their state of decomposure?
So as Reckitt and Trace had gone around, a lot were beginning to have like that rotting flesh, seemingly torn away bite marks on them as well. It seems that the gnolls were feasting upon the flesh of the miners.
But not that they had finished feasting on them, so there's still
Yes, not
a lot left.
completely, but a good amount are pretty bare.
Well, it seems we have not found all of them yet. The mine, we had gone down to the main shaft. Regrettably, we have expended most of our energy for the moment, but no, I guess we are not done here yet. But my friend Yorni, we do need to rest.
Well, I see that you have the cart, and well, I appreciate you pushing the gems out as well.
Well, we were hoping to enter discussions with you for our work so far.
Well, I'm not sure what you're getting at. Don't you get paid from the guild?
Ah, yes, but we are
We're
not.
not part of the guild.
Well, you said that you were.
We had come from the guild, but we are not members of the guild. No, we are members of the Cornsilk Rats Guild, far away. We were looking for guild members to help our allied guild out.
He'll begin like kind of scratching his chin, making his little stubby fingers through his beard. Well, I mean, I'm not sure what I could give you, but I mean, perhaps you could take a couple of those gems. But I would have to clear it with Samira first.
Ah, okay. Well, if this is a manner that's actually, I believe that is to our benefit. Very well. So are you suggesting that this is the kind of thing that would need to be discussed with Samira?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the deal that we have set up. The guild protects the mines. That's why they send the members, and they get payment for their services.
Very well. In that case,
Can I insight that he's got to check it with Samira? That's even relevant.
Sure, go ahead and make your insight check.
Where's my... 1 second. Fuck. 9.
He has to check it out. We'll make sure like it's okay. He has to check in.
Wasn't sure he was trying to hoodwink us here. Like, you know.
well, my personal, so you would have, surely, since she is in control of this, you would have no issue with us taking these directly to her.
Well, I mean, I'd have to at least go back with you, or perhaps send a couple here that back as escorts. But
I completely agree. If we leave you here overnight, if there are any gnolls left inside, which I do not which we have no reason to believe, but who knows?
Oh, you scared the shit out of me. I thought you were gonna say that there might be more.
Well,
Oh, well, we didn't finish walking through the cave. There could be more.
we killed we killed a great ant beast, as you described. So I believe the worst of it is over. Well, fellas, if this is, as we say, the worst of it, perhaps we could go further in, or perhaps we should just or perhaps we could just rest here for the night and go back in tomorrow.
Look, it's
Huh.
getting pretty late. How about you all come back down to the camp and maybe freshen up a little bit and get in the morning? I don't see any rush.
Very well. I am okay with this.
And plus, if you all think that there might be more inside, then better that you stay here.
Very well.
Come, come. And he'll begin leading you all back down the path, passing the mining materials, the pickaxes, shovels, things of that nature, empty carts, all that good stuff. And so you push the carts along back down towards the camp. You'll see roughly 20 to 25 individuals standing about, some equipped with proper weaponry, spears, swords, maces, things of that nature, and a few others that you can see do not have any sort of battle experience, having a shovel in their hand, and some with a pickaxe, which I guess is a pretty good weapon, but from the way they're holding it, they seemingly have no idea how to use it for battle.
Clearly, no soldiers. No wonder we are needed here. Well, all right. So, yeah, let's. I'm okay. Just making camp here for the night and trying to get our short rest.
So a fairly large fire is already lit, and you can see a scattered amount of tents and little defenses kind of set up with like wooden stakes into the ground surrounding the tents. And it definitely seems like a pretty secure perimeter. Well, for inexperienced soldiers to set up anyways. Well, if y'all are hungry, there's plenty of food, and he'll gesture over towards the fire, and you can see a pig being roasted, slowly spinning over it. And there's water over there. Perhaps if your day has been a bit stressful, you'd prefer the ale, maybe some wine. And gesture over towards like the right, from the barrels to the next tent to the right, and you can see a couple barrels there of what you obviously figure out to be wine and ale. But you all help yourselves, and I mean, Samira should be very grateful for what you all have done.
Yes, of course. It is. Well, what can I say? I will be happy to speak to her once we're back.
Well, if you don't need anything from me, then I'll be going to relax and get some shut-eye for the night.
Yes, of course. Rest yourself. So at this point, so where do the gems? I would like to move them into. I would like to let Yorni know that we're going to move them into a secure storage, as opposed to just leaving them in carts.
What do you mean?
Well, these are very, very, very valuable. Have you no ne'er-do-wells in this camp? Nobody who would steal these from Lady Samira?
No, I would trust them all with my life.
Very well. Well, in that case, if you trust them, uh, I'll so at this point, I'll be I don't sleep, so I'll be up all night. Um, would I be able to start working on the chitin to try and craft it into a shield?
Um, I would say give me an investigation check at this point. With not like really messing with this kind of material before. Um, you're not really sure if you need to cure it, make sure it's dried out, or really anything yet.
Okay. I'll be in the back of the cart with like the uh what's the leather that goes over the cart, the anyhow with basically curtains drawn, and I'll do investigation with guidance. Well, all right. 10.
So, being a little unsure on how to go about it, you presume it best to let it dry out. Worst case scenario, you would just need to apply water to get that like maneuverability about it again if it gets too stiff. But no harm, no foul, right?
I don't think that there's. I mean, I hope that's the case. All right, so yeah, in that case, I'll just after I look it over, I'll just go back to crafting my staff instead.
Okay, and what I'll say is, because Trace had offered last time, after Trace gets done with like his trance, he'll give you some assistance. So go ahead and roll your wood carving check. Um, the DC will be a little bit higher without proper tools, though. Still.
I'll well, I mean, does he did he also give up his?
I mean, I would say so if everyone else was. I mean,
All right,
that's kind of like the crappy calls with not having someone here, but I just figured it was like a collective decision.
fair. All right, I'll go ahead and roll advantage then. And guidance.
Ooh, 15 was nice. Well, on the dice, it was a 15, I believe.
Yep,
Yeah,
22
so,
total. I do still have knives, so.
yeah, and even without, again, like having any proper materials, just like you had done cooking the Umber Hulk meat, you're able to like whittle away with the knives and other things, maybe breaking it down on some rocks and things of that nature, using the wagon to kind of bend anything that you need, all sorts of stuff. And I do believe that will take you down to 4 hours left on your quarterstaff.
Nice.
Not being able to sleep is so nice.
Yep.
That was a 22 overall, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Well, still a really good roll. And as they're working on that, does anyone have anything that they'd like to get done, or are they just gonna get your rest for the night? You can feel that it's pretty late, but you can still get your nice 8 hours in for a decent time in the morning.
Yeah. Resty
Yeah.
rest.
Yes, I guess we're just resting.
Mhm.
I don't have -1 spell slots.
What was our rule again for getting for getting hit dice back?
After the short rest is completed, you can roll your hit dice. After you roll the hit dice, you'll get one back.
Okay, cool.
Interesting. Okay. So this is definitely like kind of like an exacerbated exhaustion roll from what I normally run in Icewind Dale.
Kinda, yeah. That's why when I was like looking it over, I was like, oh, this is kind of the same when we were talking about it. When you sent the rules.
Well, I guess I'm running more exhaustion rules if people get like yo-yoed and stuff. I'm amazed that I haven't put any of y'all down though. This is kind of anyhow. That's another thing.
That sounds bad when you put it like that.
I mean, I'll try harder next time.
So,
I'm kidding.
Onyx, you said that you were just getting your rest too, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You and Rekit had spoke at the same time, but I was pretty sure that's what I had heard. Krev, anything for you?
Yeah, no, I was just resting too. Get my wild shape back.
Okay. So the next morning, you all wake up on April 14th. Fire pit has dwindled down at this point, and it's barely a crackle. The sun is beginning to come up. Still being in the shade from the Nyansima Mountains, you can see the glow, the orangish glow from the sun behind the mountain peaks. Right. Well, I don't know how many hit dice you're gonna have to roll, but that first one wasn't so good.
Yeah. Used up all of them.
Are you at least full HP?
Close.
If he didn't roll so good on his HP when he leveled, he'd probably be full HP.
Oh no, wait, that's actually exactly full HP. Cool.
Oh, I
cool.
was gonna say,
Nice.
like, that one you had in there, wasn't too sure, but
Yay.
good, that's good.
Okay.
So after you use your 4 record, by the way, like after that you'll have 1 back. Just so you understand.
Okay, cool. Cool.
Nice roll, Onyx. That was a good roll. Well, Krev doesn't need to heal the spider, and I don't think Kadir. I don't even think
I'm
he
at
got
full hit
hit.
points. Yeah.
Think
I don't. Well, I was gonna say he.
I think every attack that went to Kadir before he like bamfed out had just missed.
I need to roll as well. I took damage.
You did.
Oh, you
I
did?
don't know what I'm thinking.
I thought
Yeah.
you had avoided all the attacks. That's usually how the combat ends.
I-
Rekid and Krev get a little messed up, and yours no scratches on you.
All right. So that's I roll 1 dice and that's it. I get it back. All right. Well, compatriots, are you prepared for some spelunking?
Let's do this.
Sure.
You look better than last night, Racket.
Nice and limber. Ugh.
I can only hope I am so limber when I'm your age.
Oh, jokes this early. Oh,
Always, my friend. And then I touch the end of your staff and give you light.
Whoa! What are you touching it up?
Hey, no. No
Listen.
homo. Just kidding. Yes, homo.
Very much home.
Says the man who has a baby by natural means.
Oh my. Good cover. I'm kidding.
Wow.
It's like
Anyways,
that shit's deep as hell.
Was it?
Yeah, it is. Wink.
so heading
Sex
back to the
jokes.
mine.
Stong Slayer.
Band of the Dong Slayers.
I'm not meant for
Obviously.
God.
adult viewing.
Anyhow,
We're
so
so mature.
Cyberpunk 2077 aside. Oh wait, shit. Was that conversation before? No, that was after we had entered the game. So that's legal. That was our opener.
Oh yeah.
Back to the mine.
Yep.
Finding some pussy.
Talking about
Friends.
Record's dong meter on the way.
Listen, if one of these gnolls survives, it's gonna be full again.
He's gonna bring everything out with his dong.
Wouldn't it be funny if always we left one enemy alive to suffer properly? Rekid, you should perhaps become proficiency in tattooing.
I'll open a shop.
Perhaps you could even make magical tattoos. Who knows?
But making your way back.
The rules for
into-
that, by the way, are really interesting.
They are. Making your way back into the mine with the light cast on Record's staff. As you make your way back in, you just get like that stale smell of blood in the air. Taking a look around. Excuse me. After going through like the bends and descend slightly down. The first thing that you see is the pile of dead gnolls and the skinned and butchered, well, slightly butchered Umber Hulk.
Well, perhaps we should be using the same formation as last, with Trace as the vanguard, and all of us following up with support. Or should we all move as a single unit?
Well, that tunnel's only as big enough for us to do maybe 2 abreast. But even then, it would be a squeeze, so to say.
Well, in that case, I believe we should move with our standard, and with you as the lead, with Trace and I as the far behind,
Sounds good to me.
and of course the lovely Onyx following shortly after you.
Yeah. Like we said, worst is behind us, right?
Yes, of course, unless it isn't.
Let's be a fucking Balrog in here or some shit. I do have a glowy staff.
Anyhow.
4 more Umber Hulks appear. No, that'd be
We're
fudged.
taking the hobbits to Ivy.
So making your way, are you just heading straight to where you straight towards where you had seen that path, on the northwestern side of the mine?
Yeah.
Okay. So making your way up there, leading everyone, you make your way towards where you had noticed the tunnel. As you peer in, you can see it winding, turning towards the east, and from the shadows, you can see that it just even turns quickly back towards the west, and then from there, you can't see any further. Can each of you give me a perception check from this point?
Yes.
Just record or
Each of you.
yeah.
Ooh, I rolled really bad on Trace. Only a 4, a 10 overall.
I
rolled
think we're
okay.
fine.
I rolled okay.
We will survive.
And that time when I didn't get the nat 20 for you guys, you all rolled fantastic. Each of you can actually
Sometimes it'd be
hear
like that.
some rocks falling and tumbling, just like a as it echoes through the tunnel. Everything seems sturdy, and the rock that fell did not seem to be too large from the sound that you've heard.
Oh.
Other than that, all is quiet. Moving through?
Yeah.
By the way, I'm still looking at the
I know.
overall Elista. Okay.
There's just
Okay,
really, I
'cause
mean,
we're
like,
like,
no actual
we're
reason to
not-
move you back.
Okay.
Okay.
So, as you begin making your way through, the first thing that you will come to after it winds towards the east, then back towards the west, you go down about a 10-foot path before it turns back, and then as you keep following 40, 50 foot deep into the tunnel, you soon find yourself to be slightly lost in the direction of which way you're heading. But as you come around a bend from your right side, you will catch a glimpse of a humanoid skeleton hand.
What is it doing?
Is it
It's just
clasped? Is it
laying
moving?
on the ground. Wreck-It, as you peer the rest of the way around, you can see that this skeleton is humanoid in like their characteristics. It is wearing chainmail and has a great axe still clutched in its other hand.
Okay.
Also, what I would like to do is, as I start to realize that I'm lost, or as that we might be getting lost, I pick up a stone, and I enchant the stone with brightly glowing wording on it. That says first, second, and third. And then I press them, into the earthen walls.
Oh
Or
man. So no more note at Goldshire?
Mhm.
Well, I'll delete that note now.
I had forgotten.
One thing I will point out is as each of you are making your way, this is a like single tunnel. There's no forks in it at all that you have come across at this point.
Oh, okay. So it was just we weren't quite sure of the direction.
Yes, but that's still
But-
not a bad
okay.
idea to use in case coming upon any forks in the tunnel or things of that nature. So after laying eyes on
take a
close-
something,
Yeah, I'll take a closer look at this skeleton, see if we can find any, I guess, identification, something that would link it to the guild.
Yes, let me know if he has friends.
are you just looking it over? Or are you kind of like digging through the scraps of like cloth and things like that that are on it as well?
So this is like a bare bone skeleton. There's no flesh, no nothing left.
Nothing. Just the
How long ago do we think the guild members?
they had let you know that they were sent out the previous day, that they should be back by
Oh,
like midday, the day that each of you had left, just a few hours, which is why they assumed that you would
Oh,
meet them along the way.
Oh fuck.
okay. Well, I'll still dig through the skeleton, kind of poking at it with my quarterstaff.
Okay, give me an investigation check, since you're actually
All
like
right.
touching it.
I'll give him advantage. Like just kind of mentioning clues that he could look for. You can roll
Where's that
again.
second roll?
You can beat it.
It wanted that one.
I was like, I jinxed him. It's like you're kind of just like poking it. the like you kind of like nudge it a bit, and just as it like shifts slightly, the head just pops off like down to the ground and begins to just roll to the other side of the tunnel. But as it kind of like loses the weight from the top, it will begin to just kind of shift a bit more. And then this is when a couple of gleams of shine you can see buried amongst in the ground are noticed. And going through more, that is pretty much all you see at that point.
So,
Sorry.
so 2 shiny things you said?
Yep.
I would like to investigate that further.
All right. So as like you begin just like kind of kicking away like the dirt that's covering it, you begin to uncover a few gold coins, and then continuing along, some silver coins and some copper as well. And amongst the amount of coins, you do also find a pendant, wheat in color, with a civet in the middle of this, the center of the circle.
Do we know that symbol to be the guild symbol, or?
Correct.
So I would let my comrades know and also say, this is odd. If they came down here a day or so ago, I wouldn't expect to find a bare-bones skeleton like this.
How much do you think that Umber Hulk weighed? 1,000 pounds, maybe? More?
It felt like it.
A creature that size could, I'm sure, could clean a human body in a day.
But doing it this cleanly, leaving it fully intact skeleton.
I would expect more broken bones for that matter.
Well, we found some
if you'd
things
like
at
to
least.
see if it's smashed more in any way, like you can give me a medicine check to see exactly how it died. But other than that, you were kind of just poking it with the quarterstaff.
Well, I guess I was imagining a skeleton that was like, still constructed and where the bones are still connected to each other in some way.
It's still fairly constructed. I mean, but like from the amount that like you were hitting it, it definitely seemed like it was loose. Quick, does anyone have anything to give him advantage on medicine?
Good Krev. Could you use your survival skills, perhaps?
Yes, I could do that.
Perhaps attempt to notice marks of the Umber Hulk's mandibles or of the gnolls, perhaps. Would that be acceptable?
If that's allowed.
I would say like medicine is more of like a cause of death kind of
I
style.
could check medicine as well. That's.
If you have proficiency in it, then go ahead and make.
No, I was gonna check separately, like on my own, like not assisting.
I'll allow it this time, but that's usually how we do it, like the skill checks, so that way it's not like everyone can roll separately, right? That's kind of the point.
Yeah.
Okay,
I got you. All right.
So I mean, like mechanically speaking, like
I'm
so,
decent
like,
at it.
Make a perception check, rolls a 1, and then someone's like, "Can I take a look?" You know, like that kind of thing, because you know that they rolled a 1.
Okay.
I mean, I'll take the advantage if you want, Matt, because I do have a +6 to medicine. I just rolled a 2 on it.
Okay. I mean, I've got a +5 myself, and with guidance, so it's basically
that's true.
a +6. But
That's true.
That's why I was.
So you are proficient in it then?
No, I'm not, but I have a
well, so
+5 because I've got 20 wisdom. So.
Okay, gotcha. All right. From looking it over, you can see a few of the bones have been like crushed. You can see some crack marks, things of that nature. While being unsure if it's from the gnoll biting down onto the humanoid or the mandibles, but you can definitely see that it's an immense amount of pressure.
Yes, based on the pressure, I think it'd be safe to assume that could have been from, well, I don't know if the gnolls could exert that much pressure themselves, or if it's just the...
Plus, this does seem to be the Umberhawk's den. Before we go, I would like to check with one more thing. Krev, if you could cast Detect Magic. Actually, I take that back. I believe I can do this as well. One second.
Well, either way, I mean, if we would want to take the time to ritually cast it, or...
Yes, I'll ritual cast Detect Magic.
Anybody
Just
doing
to-
anything during the 10 minutes, or just fast forward?
Let me check and see if there's anything I can do. One thing I can think of is if I had another ritual I could do separately. Oh, I'll ritual cast Speak with Animals.
That's
Just in case
actually like not that specific one, but that's kind of what I was thinking. Like, you know,
I
might as well
know.
if someone else has to ritual
Yeah.
cast.
So just in case it comes up, Speak with Animals could come in handy, you know. So why not?
Anybody else?
I don't do the magics.
But you're the best wizard.
You can pretend to cast Detect Magic.
Yep. Oh, super magical here. Yes, for sure.
Just like interpretively dancing and waving your arms around for 10 minutes.
And Kadir, were you about to mention something else? I think we kind of started talking like around the same time.
No, we have an adorable puppy that went over and laid down on the couch. She's such a sweet girl. Yeah, she's just been sitting here watching us the whole time, demanding pets.
Dope. Well, at least I haven't heard any barking or anything at all. Quiet dog.
She's so quiet, so quiet.
But after going through, assuming you're picking up these coins and things as you go along, like through the dirt there, Rekid.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with the 10 minutes provided, kind of collecting them one by one, you would have found a decent amount of gold, silver, and copper pieces along with the guild pendant as well. With picking them up one by one, I would believe that you'd have at least a decent idea. So I'll just give you the exact numbers. In total, you have actually collected 50 gold pieces, 41 silver pieces, and 157 copper.
Wow.
Nice. Do I have room in my pockets for these?
I would say it's gonna be a tight fit, but I'd imagine so. You can stretch it out just a tad bit more.
Yeah.
Is the pendant on a necklace or anything?
Oh yeah, you actually emptied your pockets. You put all the stuff in the bag, so you have plenty of room.
Also, when what we originally said is that when we get back to the caravan, the caravan cart, that we would pick up new bags.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
We good then.
Yep. And then if needed, like you had mentioned as well, empty out the water barrels, things of that nature.
Sure.
So the pendant that you had found is just like a kind of like a pin style, the same as each of yours from the corn silk rat.
Are we adding this to the how shall we say, the group bank?
Yeah.
All
Sure.
right. It was 50 gold,
41 silver
and
and
157 copper.
calculated. Addendum has been made. We have we can roughly break out a full 100 gold per person.
Wow. That's awesome.
I suspect this isn't the only guild member down here, though.
Yes, that does seem unlikely. Do I finish casting Detect Magic?
Yep, about the time that Rekid gets done collecting the coins, your detect magic will be complete.
Do I sense anything in the Umber Hulk's chamber?
No, you do not.
Could I use investigation or perception uh, to poke around the edges and the edges of this cavern and the dirt to try and find other corpses? Because this one was kind of like partially buried, right?
A little bit. Most of the coins being the more buried things, and I mean, other than that, like the tunnel does keep going. This is not the end, but you can definitely
Oh.
check the walls if you'd like.
Yes, I would like to check. I would like to check real quick before we delve any deeper.
Give me an investigation check.
14.
I mean, you can find like a little bit of weak points in the wall. Nothing that's hidden or anything that seems to be buried. It seems more so that the pressure of the pushing out as this Umber Hulk tunneled formed pretty solid walls for the most part.
Oh shoot! I just realized. Guidance interrupts detect magic because they're both concentration. Can I choose not to? If I didn't use guidance there, would that make a difference? Or
No, not really. So I'll let you take it back, but I was about to say something. I was like, isn't that one concentration? But good
Yeah, it
catch.
is.
You caught me
That's-
before I said something, so I'll let you take it back.
Thank you. That's kind. Yeah. In that case, everyone back in line, and we'll keep going.
Onward.
Alright.
Onward and downward, as they say.
Hmm.
Wait. Yes, no, that's correct.
I'm confused.
Well, following the tunnel, you find yourself still winding, turning, some going paths descending farther than others, while you feel yourself growing in altitude for quite a bit of time. The amount of judgment that you'd be in here is quite easily picked up, because at this point, Rekid's staff will stop emitting light.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, detect magic's definitely gone by then. I'll throw another light spell.
All right. So the detect magic would have definitely like kind of worn out, and you not noticing like anything at that point. And then I was just assuming probably like another 30 minutes after that, then the quarterstaff would go out.
Wow. Okay.
It could-
So basically there were two chambers and then just one long ass hallway.
Yes, thus far. And then this is when you finally make it to a much broader room. You can see not just the tunnel that each of you are exiting, but a tunnel that heads off to the left and one to the right.
I dropped the first stone.
And at this point, as everyone enters here, can each of you give me a perception check?
Alright. You said
Alright.
so our rituals have gone out, disappeared, so we can guidance again. Perception.
So yeah, since like your stuff is gone, as Kret just pointed out, if you would like to guidance yourself.
It's an okay perception.
Not bad. Onyx. Onyx sees a dog.
I Very cute.
Wait,
dog.
I don't think that dog's in game.
Unless it is. Can it be?
Maybe you can find one in the future, but it's definitely not here. Taking a look around, you can see these, instead of stone walls, these red, like crimson red in color. They appear to be like vine-like things that are just going up and surrounding the walls to the room and meeting up at the apex, up at the ceiling. Scattered about, each of you will be able to see 8 medium-sized eggs. I mean, for an egg, I would say that they're quite large, being roughly about the size of a human. Like
Wow.
5 foot in like height, and then like a couple foot wide. You see 8 of them kind of scattered about, embedded in the walls. You will also spot 3 half-covered skeletons. You can see the face of the skulls on each of them cracking down the center as they seem to be being devoured, or maybe just like, I guess, like kind of encased and pulled into like these vines.
Can I try to identify these vines?
Sure. Go ahead and give me a nature check.
I will guidance this if I can. Not that I need to.
2 max rolls. So while you're taking a look, like, you're uncertain of the name, but this seems to just be like the some sort of material that these Umber Hulks have emitted in order to feed their eggs.
Well, this is quite unusual. We seem to have stumbled onto an Umber Hulk nest. Oh no. Is there a daddy Umber Hulk, I wonder? Or a mother?
Thus far, as you were making your way through the tunnels, other than like your footsteps kind of just beating about, in the conversations held, there's been no other sounds.
Krev,
Yes.
check for footprints Attempt to identify how many Umber Hulks are here.
Okay. Sure. Ew. Gross.
So while looking about, like the floor, going near each of the entrances, things of that manner, from the light, you're able to see what appears to be multiple sets of tracks. Little indentations on the ground showing where these things have stepped underneath their weight.
But these are the small. Umber Hulks were huge, though, right?
Mechanically speaking, no. Believe
Not
they're
like
still
huge,
large.
huge, but they were large creatures.
Yeah.
They would have been not small footprints, right?
Yeah, but I mean, like, they're still bugs, so like it comes down to like a point, right?
Yeah.
They don't have like actual feet.
True. So I point them out, guys. These look like the footprints of the Umber Hulk. I don't know if. Can I tell how fresh they are? Like, are they from today?
Some from as early as like a day old, and some like, because it's kind of like pushed into like this like mainly stone floor, maybe weeks, but it's kind of hard to tell with the material that it's embedded in.
I see. It's hard to tell. Some of these are from the last 24 hours, but I mean, it's not been 24 hours since our fights, so
Yes, these corpses, they have been desiccated by those vines. Uh, as we when we looked around, were there any other exits to this room?
Just the 3 total. The one that went to the left, right, and then like if you would like to kind of get like more of a visual picture, like a circular room, one going off to the top left, one going off to the top right, and then one coming from like a southern direction in the middle,
All right,
which
and I
is the
dropped
one
my
that you all came out of.
and I dropped my stone here.
Correct.
Well, so these Umber Hulks, they may still hatch. We should destroy the eggs.
Mm-hmm.
Do we all agree?
Yes,
Hmm.
I do.
Well, I do as well. Reckon?
I suppose. Hopefully, it doesn't cause more trouble.
Well, hopefully at the end of this we'll be able to make one wicked omelet. All right, let's get cracking.
Hmm.
So I
Uh,
guess
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
the way I would choose to do it is I wouldn't want to do so loudly. So I would just walk up to one and then with and then I would just primal savagery lunge my acid hand into the center of the egg.
All right. And as you do, you like pierce it, and you feel like this little bit of like air kind of out of it. And as this, what you assume to at first be more of like a solid material, seems almost like flesh, just colored in a more beige, like darker beige way. And as like you pierce into it, you'll feel the air and then also see a bit of green ooze beginning to leak out. And as the egg deflates, you can see the outlining of a little baby Umber Hulk.
Prestidigitation to wash myself off. And then again.
Rinse and repeating the process all the way through, just each one. Then, as you pierce the last one, cleaning yourself off once more, each of you begin to hear rocks falling. Like the kind of sounds that you have heard before when going into the tunnel originally. Small pebbles, medium-sized rocks at most, falling. But you do hear them kind of echoing out of each tunnel.
What corpses do we see in the vines?
The 3 skeletons.
Check them. We must check them quick.
So, is everyone gonna go make their way to like the individual ones, go over them?
As long as we don't separate too far from each other. Is that
Uh-huh.
what you mean?
Yeah,
Like
just
splitting
like
up to do it,
the
or-
room is like a 20-foot radius, 40-foot diameter in total, roughly about 15 to 20 foot high in the ceiling range. So not too far away. Like if everyone kind of spread out, they'd be like 20 foot away from everyone at maximum.
Okay. Are we okay with this?
Yep.
Yep.
So as each of you scramble over towards each of the skeletons, you can hear the sounds of the rocks falling from each of the tunnels growing a bit louder. And each of you have an ominous feeling that something is approaching. But we did get started a little bit late, and actually do need to use the bathroom, so we're gonna go ahead and take a small break right here, and then finish it up in just a few moments.
Nice.
Awesome.
So be right back. I'm guessing 5-10 minutes, kind of. I mean, 10 minutes hopefully is more than enough. Maybe just 5 this time since we started late.
Sure.
Maybe even earlier. All right.
Okay.
So we'll be right back in just a couple minutes. Use the bathroom, stretch your legs real quick, and then we'll get back to it. So be right back.
All right.
All right, and we're back. So, as each of you make your way up to the skeletons, at this point, can each of you give me a investigation check for the ones that you're at?
And I would like to point out that I'm looking particularly for, ouch, medallion. I mean, valuables too, but whatever.
I see we did.
God.
Love it. Fucking love it.
So,
Nice.
I believe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that everybody? Where's Onyx?
What?
Where's your roll?
Investitigation. It's your best skill.
Investitigation.
Yeah.
So friendly.
So everybody except
There
for
is no best roll with roll 20.
everybody except for Rekid, like you make your way up, and Rekid, you just like don't really want to try to pull away any of these vines, keeping your eyes more on the tunnels after hearing these rocks falling and that are getting louder. And the rest of you, as like you're digging through, pulling things back and forth, Krev, you easily find yours. You find like a pendant just pressed into one of like the bones, and you can see that it is just cracked and all throughout the entire bone, which you can kind of assume to be like a shoulder blade. Kadir and Onyx, as you're like digging through yours, you will find roughly the same thing. It'll just take you a tad bit longer in time, but at this point, the rocks falling, that the sound of the rocks falling seems to now be growing, going away from each of you as it seems to be diminishing.
Huh.
So which direction was it coming from? Was it coming from the northeast, the northwest, or from the south? And which direction did it go? Are we hearing it come from now?
Go ahead and give me an active perception check, listening to it like dissipate. But as it like was approaching, it was just like kind of echoing through, and it seemed to be coming from all directions.
God. Couldn't decide if it wanted to be a 19 or a 3, and it chose a 3.
So you're uncertain whether it's the path that was originally going off to the left or the path that was going on to, out to the right, but you can definitely confirm that it was not the path that you had come from.
Well, good comrades, do we venture further?
Yeah, I believe so.
Does anybody have any fucking clue what that was?
What was?
The falling rocks, the echoes.
Probably just more gnolls.
Ah, yes. So cavalier.
I'm pretty sure it's ghosts.
Or maybe more of these bugs.
Personally, I'm voting for ghosts. It would be a twist. Well, are we going to play eeny, meeny, miny, mo, or pick a direction?
Pick an erection.
Ah, yes. Wishful thinking, my friend. Pick a direction.
Oh.
All right. North, we will go left. Left is right, yes?
All right.
All left.
Let's go.
Lead on, my wizardly friend.
Do I have light on my?
Yes,
Yeah,
you still
my,
do at this point.
quarterstaff? Okay, cool. Because then it would be the blind leading everyone.
Quite literally.
The blind leading the other blind. Yes, accurate.
Mostly.
I mean, oh shucks. I think I think 3 of us don't have dark vision. That's new. I'm used to the entire party's having
Yeah,
that.
usually the entire party takes dark vision.
Well,
Yeah, I don't have it, but I can wild shape into something that does.
We done faffed ourselves. All right.
So
well,
making your way down the left one, correct?
making our way downtown.
Okay. Continuing on, going through these crimson red vines, you see will seemingly just be focused in this area. As soon as you start to go through the tunnel, everything turns into just the natural stone that was unnaturally moved, I guess you could say. In a way. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe naturally. Anyways. You make your way. You're continuing on. Go on. Tunnel continues to wind. Left. Then right. Then left again. You seem to be just walking for quite a bit of distance. Eventually, you come to a fork in the path.
I drop second.
One of the tunnels from like your guys' point of view, I'm just gonna use left and right essentially, with not being able to tell like the complete sense of direction. One goes left, one goes right. Which one do you choose?
Left, I suppose. It is as good as anything else. Yes.
Could I take a sniff?
Sure. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Any difference in smell coming from either direction?
No, just like that kind of like stale air kind of thing, where it just like kind of smells dirty. Nothing's cleared out this tunnel in quite some time.
Left it is.
All right. About what you assume to be 10 to 15 minutes of going down the tunnel to the left, the light will run out once more. Reapply it, Kadir.
You betcha.
Touch my staff, bro.
Oh, you know it.
Riddles in the dark.
So continuing on, winding, following this singular path for what feels like ages, you feel yourselves beginning to ascend upwards for roughly 10-15 minutes. And then as you continue on, like the immediate incline begins to steady itself out, and you can feel yourselves all walking on a steadied, flattened surface once more. Another 10 minutes go by, and you begin to see a light at the end of the tunnel.
I go into the light.
Maybe. No, do not do it. You
No,
are
I
too
want-
young.
Sweet release.
You are too young, my friend. Think of the children or the child.
Gooby, please.
Fucking do it again.
So you all
Fuck them
continuing
kids,
on?
right?
I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, well, when you make your way out, into the light, you find yourselves to be outside. This is not where you had entered. As you look around, off to the west, you see plains, but off towards the east side, once you kind of get that like sense of direction from the sun, you will see desert.
All right. Well, we're deep in the Niacima Mountains now, fellas.
Yes.
Well, at least we have a way out should it come to this. Could I make a perception check if there's anything, if I notice anything around the cave face? Like, I mean, tracks, signs of beasts,
Yeah.
people.
Please do.
Nice.
So
Ah.
you do see some of like the indentations that Krev had kind of pointed out, focusing around the mouth of the cave. Other than that, you do not see anything. The exit of this tunnel that you had come out of is the same size as the one that you had gone into the mine, that 5x8 structure.
All right. So, well, in that case, back in until we find the marker.
Yes.
Nothing here, I would say.
It's nice to get some fresh air, though.
Oh yes. I mean, should the cave fall for any reason, at least we have a second guarantee out. Not saying that would happen.
Of course.
Looks at cave.
It's just standing there menacingly.
Like caves often do. I will not
So
cave into
we're
the
gonna-
pressure.
So we're just
Gonna
gonna go
make
back
your
and
way
try a
back
different direction.
Yes. Maybe make our way back through and then take a right where we had taken a left to the exit. So I guess this would technically be another left from the way that we turned back. Do you understand what we mean?
If you're asking me, yes, completely. But you were doing your character voice, so I wasn't sure if you were talking to the party.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I didn't. I just kind of automatically do it.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. Honestly, this is one of the the voices that I tend to hold more steadily. When I do Irish accents or English, I have a tendency to kind of like pop in and out of other accents. So this is a little bit easier. Stick with.
Well, yes, other than it being like a bit of distance to get back to that point, you can easily do so. Then making your way what was originally the right path that is now to your left.
Yes.
I'm gonna assume just rinse and repeating, applying light to Kadir, from Kadir to I was gonna say Krebs, but Rekid's staff.
Of course.
Okay, and then that way I don't have to keep asking. Moving on, making your way back to that like fork, finding that pebble that you had placed the word second on, and then making the left from that point. Rekid, you continue on, path winding, turning. This one begins leading higher up. You can feel yourself almost in a like slightly steep climbing manner, kind of having to lean forward in order not to fall backwards, and everyone following suit. Continuing on, the light will go off once before finding another other paths that you can go down. This time you find yourselves in a slightly smaller den room, only like a 10 by 10 sphere style, and there are numerous paths. 3, 4 going off towards the left of you, a couple going up, directly up, some going directly down, some off to the right, some continuing towards the front. You find there to be roughly 22, I believe, yes, 22 in total.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Also, at this point, I will say that you find yourselves to be like a bit chillier, like it's gotten a bit colder,
We're going deeper.
or perhaps a lot higher, since you were just
The
climbing.
mountains.
Well,
Well, this I'm gonna call this room hub from now on.
What?
Hub, like a hub room.
How?
Yeah. I mean, it has like, how many exits did you say? Like 10 plus.
It's actually
Is what-
exactly what I called it, like the hub. Like I put like the hub slash like, well, slash more DM note style stuff for me, but yes, I called it the same thing actually. That's funny.
I mean, I think that's what makes the most sense because it seems to lead everywhere.
Why don't we just call it the everywhere?
Or perhaps I could even call it Rome.
Why not? Rome is Rome unless you're home.
Well, unless this cave is our home, I believe we should be moving forward.
Perhaps.
Must have
Now-
become our tomb.
Please don't remind me. Well, oh boy. Well, let us perhaps investigate a little bit. Could we like try to notice? A lot of these are probably just dead ends, to be honest. At least I hope so. Let us search this room for clues as to a way forward, perhaps.
okay.
However, everyone would prefer to search. Perhaps you could cast a spell for us, Raki. Ah, yes, I know. Your finest spell. The one you crafted specifically. What was it called? Find Self?
Well, that one takes a year to cast as I go on a journey to find the things I'm seeking in life, and it requires material components.
I believe the sacrifice is called a midlife crisis, yes?
Ah, excellent.
Well. Oh boy.
So, Minnie, which way?
Well. I would
Can
prefer not
I
to
take
go.
another sniff?
A what?
Sure,
Another sniff.
sure. So while the air like kind of like fills your lungs and you can feel like that bit of like cooler like air, like just like that feeling inside your chest, you pick up a scent from something. It is just filling the room.
Does it seem like something that's located in this room?
As you look around, you don't notice anything besides the other tunnels, but like it's strong. Like trying to think of like a good word for it, but I guess we could just say it like excrement from, like it's like kind of like a shit smell.
Can I tell from which tunnel it's strongest?
Just go around like sniffing each of the tunnels, and like this like shit aroma hits your nose. It seems to be fairly strong in nearly every one, as Kadir had pointed out. Figuring this to be like the hub, this seems to be a highly traveled location.
Well, that does give me an idea. Krev, I presume
Yes?
that you have seen before a direwolf.
Of course.
I presume transforming into one would also give you heightened senses of smell, yes?
It would. Not that I would want to smell that smell any better, but
But perhaps, perhaps you would be able to scent on the how many? Do we know how many? Do we know how many medallions there were amongst the wheat civets, or how many men had come down?
4.
Ah, so we have 4 already. We have found them all.
Correct.
Hmm. But we have not yet found all the miners. So, what this leads me to believe is that we are searching for corpses. I suppose you would be able to, as even as a wolf. I'm sure you would be able to discern such scents and perhaps lead us to them. If we can find out what happened to the rest of the miners, we can definitively say that we've explored this area. I do believe.
yes.
But alternatively, we could just leave. Your choice.
All right. And I turn into a dire wolf.
All right.
I know you would not resist adventure.
Go
And-
ahead and give me your perception check at advantage.
All right. Oh, there it is. Perception. Oh yeah, turn off guidance first. Perception.
I'll guidance you.
Oh, all right.
Specifically
We'll turn that
searching
back
for
on.
what Kadir had said, corpses, correct?
Yeah.
23 is a good roll.
This is gonna be good.
25,
Nice.
sir.
Nice.
So, as like this just heavier smell of excrement like is just pouring through your nostrils as you are sniffing about, you do catch a faint whiff of like death and like a corpse of the rotting flesh, something of the sort, anyways.
Hmm.
And it is actually coming from the same path that you had entered.
I would telepathically tell Michael, where I smell it from.
Who's that?
I'm sorry, correct.
Got him.
Kadir.
Wait, did you just say Krev?
I said Michael.
Okay. It's like, I hear something. Guys.
The doggo's talking
all
to
right.
you.
Well. Yes.
And I point, it's where we came from, or wherever that room was,
Well,
where I smell it from.
very
The
well.
Corpses.
Lead the way, compatriots.
And I do. And I sniff along where I smell it from,
Yeah.
and then walk.
Following the
Yeah.
scent, it begins just leading you back down that same tunnel. Eventually, after time passes, making your way back towards the pebble with second placed upon it. And
Mhm.
you feel the scent coming from your left path.
All right, and I start following that left path, and
Is that the path that leads to the exit? Or is it...
No, the path that led to the exit would have been on your right side at that point.
Oh, right. Left.
Yep,
Right.
left is right.
Yep, got it.
Continuing, you feel the scent of like death just growing heavier and heavier as you're making your way. Time continues to pass. The light off and on from Kadir's staff, or from Reket's staff as Kadir casts light. Which doesn't make much of a difference for you, besides it kind of just getting brighter and then not at some points. But as the time passes, you eventually find yourself back in the chamber with the eggs. The large room. Now deflated eggs. And you can catch the scent coming from the walls.
And I just tell Kadir, the scent is coming from the walls. Like, do I sense it coming from inside, you said, or just on the walls?
Yeah, like of course, like you'll smell the ones like from the skeletons that you can see, but you'll also smell like different spots scattered amongst the room, like in the walls.
And just relay that,
As-
it's
Under
multiple spots in the room on the walls.
under the vines.
You don't see anything, but you can smell it.
Yeah, I just say I smell it.
Well. All right. In that case, indicate where, and I will cut the vines down.
All right, I'll just move up to the nearest one.
And with a quick swipe of my hand, primal savagery, slice the vines down.
And as like you do, like they'll fall down to the floor, and like you'll see this like red liquid kind of just seeping out of it ever so slightly. And at first you see nothing, swiping again, clearing more, then a little bit more, and as these red vines just continue to be torn away, eventually you'll feel a bit more of a solid connection. And as you take a look, you'll see remnants of bone, kind of just like covered in this black liquid.
Is there anything on it, or is it just bones?
Like after like clearing everything out, the rest like the vines, like you'll see that like it's like a humerus, and then like a femur bone, and just like bone parts like scattered about. There's no solid skeleton.
So like the bones got carried away from where they originally were.
Yep. And each covered in like that liquid.
I'll bottle it.
The black liquid?
Yep.
Okay. You can have a vial of black we'll call it mysterious black liquid for now.
All right.
We go to the next spot, I guess.
Yeah, rinse and
Well,
repeating
to
that
be
process,
perfect.
if you would find the same thing at number 2. Scattered bones. You gonna keep going through, finding each in particular scent, or
Does it all smell the same, or
How many?
yeah, like it seems to almost be like emanating from like everywhere, at least faintly, at the least. But the parts that you're pointing out, Krev, are the more like focused, where there's just happening to be like a few more bones.
Okay.
But as Kadir had stated, believing the bones to be being pulled away, I feel like you would probably assume that like those faint smells you're picking up are just like the scattered remains.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So. Well, it. I believe we found the rest of the miners. We can safely presume that they have all passed. Ah, well, votes. What would you all prefer to go back to town, or continue rummaging through these cryptic hallways?
Hmm.
I'll be honest, I was kind of hoping we would flesh out whatever was moving the rocks around and such.
I was as well, but well, I think it is like we do have another pathway to go here, I believe. Uh, we had originally gone left in this room, but perhaps we could go right. If you are looking still to discover what that is, we could take the other path.
I mean, I'm still fresh.
Very well. In that
Yes.
case, we seek the creature. Or it seems very likely that if there is one Umberhawk, there must be a second. Yes.
At least.
You almost sound hopeful.
Call it the thrill of the hunt.
All right, I can follow this. I reset my stones from the first and second stone, so those go dark, and I rename my stones third. Or I rename those. I gather 2 new stones that I rename fourth and fifth.
Okay.
And from this room, we take the right path that we had not taken before. I have been creating kind of like a little word map on a notepad.
Okay. So I'll ask you this. How far would you like to go along?
Like down this path?
Yeah, so, I mean, the amount of times that you would have had to recast the light at this point would have been a total of 6. So you're making your way through the day, like continuing on, and so far not finding any luck of anything.
So that
So,
would
and
probably put us at like 2 p.m. right now then.
yeah, I mean, it's definitely harder to tell without seeing the sun, but
Well, we saw the sun about 3 hours ago.
yeah, but like the easier part to tell with like the amount of times that you cast light.
Yeah. Well, I would be willing. Let us go until 5 p.m. and then make our way out. 3 more casts of light. If we cannot find it by then, we go back to town.
Okay.
So yeah, cast light again, and count 3 casts of light. And we're going down the right path.
So heading down the right path from this egg room, you will continue on for a bit of time before coming to a path that leads straight, one that takes off towards the left of you, and one that goes to the right.
All right, I dropped the 3rd stone. Good friend, Krev,
Yes.
can you perhaps sense the scent of an Umberhawk? If there is a path that follows.
Let me see. Is that just survival or perception or?
Well, if you're trying to get the scent, I would say perception.
Okay. Let's see.
I guidance him.
Man, that D4 always fucks up the D20s.
So you're able to pick up like an unfamiliar scent, but you're also able to pick up like that scent of like the excrement. You sense it coming from the left and the middle path.
Hmm.
And an unknown scent as well?
It's unfamiliar.
And where is that?
You said it's the left and the middle?
Mm-hmm.
The left and the middle.
Well, lead the way, wherever you wish. Please.
Alright. Sure.
Which way?
Shall we go left or right? I mean, does one have a stronger scent? Left or right?
It's
I mean, left or middle?
it's really relatively the same.
Middle.
Okay. Continue on. You feel yourself heading it like towards like a climbing position again, like that, leaning forward, placing your hands upon like the surface in order to keep your balance as you're making your way up. It's a little more difficult for you, Krev, as like the dire wolf,
Mm-hmm.
but you're able to keep going along. Eventually, you come to another fairly decent-sized room. From the judgment of it, it is about like 15 by 15. Still in like that circular shape.
Mm-hmm.
Can each of you roll me a perception check at this point? Trace only with a 9, but each of you rolled really good again.
Hot
Got it.
dang.
Burn
Yeah. I can't wait to find out that should have been my initiative.
So you see 5 paths from this room, but as each of you are entering, each of you will hear the sound of rocks falling, those medium, small of rocks. Kadir, Wreck-It, well, pretty much everyone except for Trace can pin it down to be coming from one of the tunnels. It is the farthest to the left. The paths all in total, the one immediately to your left, about 10-15 foot away, is the sound, or where the sound is coming from.
Well, I believe we have. I will now dub this room Hub 2 Electric Boogaloo.
I'll also say, like, you're still getting like a heavier scent as well, Krev. Still following like that path.
Yeah.
The far left.
Yep.
Well,
I keep referring that to you guys.
in that case, I believe our path has been chosen for us. The hunt is on.
I believe so.
Then we go. Far left it is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, continuing along, each of you can continuously hear the rocks like kind of falling and making a quickened pace? Question mark?
Hmm.
No.
Still just keeping the same pace?
How many times have we cast light since leaving the first room?
Once.
Okay.
Just one. It's like in between, like you'd probably guess within 30 minutes it's gonna go out again.
Okay. So, we still have time, I believe. Does it seem like the rocks are getting further away?
No, like as like you're making your way, like even at like the continued pace that you have been, they do seem to be growing louder. And if you're still continuing at that pace, then I'll just move on.
I'm okay continuing as normal.
Yes.
All right. So moving on, within like 10 to 15 minutes from that point, you'll hear the rocks growing louder, and then you'll also hear a like scurrying like style like footprints that each of you will recognize as an Umber Hulk. While yet seeing it, you know that it's close, bending, coming around each of the corners. Then, eventually, each of you will lay your eyes on the backside of this fairly large creature. And that's where we'll go ahead and call the session.
Nice. All right.
Whew, so that's
Wow.
probably an idea that I won't use again. Maybe next time I'll just put you guys on like the quote-unquote dungeon map and then just keep masking the layers. But I was trying to keep it hidden because it's like I specifically wrote it out, like there's so many winding tunnels that you lose your path.
Well, wait, I went into the voice again. I mean, it wasn't terrible. We try not to go down any of the more complex paths, to be honest, like any of the hub paths, because that would have gotten awful real quick.
Well, if you
Yeah.
would have went down into the ones that went down, you probably would have just died.
Really? That sucks.
Well, yeah, like I said, they were like straight down. So if you would have been like, yeah, we go like into one of those, and then it would have just been like splat.
That would have been a funny way to end the adventure. I mean, but we have like rope and stuff, so well, I mean, maybe we don't because we put it all in our diamond bags, but or gem bags or whatever. It is funny to think we don't have a shitload of gems anymore, guys. We just have a third of a shitload.
Yeah, a third of a shitload is actually still a lot. I think that you guys will be quite surprised when you actually see how much gems you have.
I'm concerned we haven't gotten away with that just yet.
I mean,
And who knows, you might not. But one of the other interesting facts, just like a peek behind the screen of like an idea of what I was doing before we say our goodbyes, was while keeping everything like hidden from sight from each of you, I was like moving the Umber Hulks like around like where they're going. So then like there's times where like you picked up nothing, and then there's times like where you're picking up like a trail, or you're hearing the rocks and then not hearing the rocks.
did everyone hear that? He just said Umber Hulks.
Multiple.
Oh, yeah.
Michael has succeeded his perception check.
Oh yeah, I've got about like 100 in here.
Nice.
I'm just kidding. There's definitely multiple, but you know.
Yikes-a-roni. Well, I mean, it's. I figured you would try to. I figured we wouldn't get into.
Thanks for
into
the
a battle
raid,
until
Marbanya.
we,
Actually,
until,
just finishing up this
I almost said Trace
session,
Signa gets back.
but
So.
we will be playing some Divinity.
I think it was just a matter of
Just
how
a little
much
bit.
we explored before we actually bumped into one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I am curious to know, like, if they actually that one time when we heard the noise, if it had actually gone over us or something like that. Like, did it, like, if it passed through?
Guess we'll never know.
Dun 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 dun.
But just with that, well, I hope everyone had fun, and like I said, was saying to the chat, afterwards, me and Shadow Ravens Games, Jax, we'll be playing some Divinity, continuing our hardcore mode, where we were basically effed at that part where you have to fight those champions in the graveyard.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Is it that bad?
Oh yeah.
The three, what are they, like the three gods?
The
or
four.
the four gods that like resurrect themselves as stronger
Mhm.
versions.
Oh yeah.
I feel like the best way to handle that would just be to kill the same one twice.
That's
and
what
then
we were
to get 'em
doing,
out of the way
focusing them one
permanently.
by one. But they like had us in like this awkward stun locked position where like they ended up killing him and then I was like frozen and it was like you gotta just kind of cross your fingers and hope I don't get CC'd. And then I was able to actually res him and then I just like put him way in BFE, like way out there.
Yeah.
And then we were good, but it was intense. But anyways, so we'll be doing that for just a little bit. I got a very busy day planned tomorrow, getting a lot of Christmas stuff done, things like that. So, but anyone have anything they'd like to shout out? Wreck-It, you haven't said anything about your podcast for quite a while, and I'm kind of curious on why.
Okay.
Yeah, so we've been on hiatus pretty much since the baby has been born. I think actually Ellen dropped a episode here recently, a couple days ago.
She did.
As one of the callers. I think it was the Orb Weaver Spider episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the other one was though.
I got done just recently. I was listening to it today. I'm not very far, but I just finished episode 3. If I'm not mistaken, it was pandas and a praying mantis.
Yep. That one talks a lot about the sexuality of pandas.
You mean the non-existent? So anyhow.
Just saying, like, if I was listening to it like aloud, I feel like people would look at me weird. Not, like when you kind of like just like catch that like quick, like, couple sentences. There was a lot of times where I was like, hey, I'm glad that like only I can hear this right now. Totally out of context. This would be awkward.
That's the
It was
allure
like
of
that
the
anime meme I
podcast.
sent you.
Oh yeah.
And
It's always when people walk in, it's always the worst sexual thing or whatever.
Yeah.
In the before times, when I still went to work, I would sometimes drive some of my team to lunch, and a lot of times when I got in my car, my phone would auto pair and then start playing the last podcast I was listening to. So I listened to a lot of the McElroy stuff, and when it started up, the first thing that comes over my speakers just Griffin McElroy screaming, "Dicks!" And, like my boss was in the car, and then
Was this Rob or was this?
no, I don't think he was there at the time, but
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, what was their opinion on the matter?
Oh, they laughed. It was funny.
I'm sure they talked about it after back at the office too.
Anyone got a story that can top that, or should we end it on that note?
I listened to the hagfish episode, and boy, they are just delightfully gross, and I love it.
Yep.
Can you imagine a creature that just elicits so much slime from its body that it can actually choke you to death just by being around you? That's fucked up. It's like, here, choke on my protein, bitch. Anyhow, I like it. I really like the deep sea creeper type episodes. I'm all about that.
Mm-hmm. They're fun.
It's not an octopus episode, but it helps.
Anyone else got anything that they'd like to say before we end it?
Not really, just other than what you're gonna say for tomorrow. For Raven Shaw.
Yeah, no game for Ravenshaw tomorrow. Just got, like I said, shit to take care of throughout the day and not enough time.
All right. Well, everyone enjoy your cyberpunk, kids.
Yeah.
And remember, it's not the size of the slider that matters, but what the slider is related to.
All right, gonna go ahead and just end it there then. Thanks.